welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie.the.cosmic.sailor, and today we are asking the question, how do others perceive you? So I have the oracle cards already shuffled out, and then we're going to do some charms, some letters, and then we're going to shuffle the tarot on camera. So that is the reading for today. We have 4 groups to choose from. Whichever group you feel drawn to the most, that's most likely your reading. If you feel drawn to more than one group, that's totally okay. It just means there's more than one message for you here today. So pile number 1 is the stack of cards with the pyrite. Pile number 2 is this stack of cards with the seashell. Pile number 3 is this stack of cards with the labradorite. And pile number 4 is this stack of cards with the selenite. So feel free to meditate on the piles. I will have the timestamps linked in the description box below. That way you can click straight to your reading, and I will see you in your groups. Bye. Hello! If you chose pile number 1 with the pyrite, this is your reading. We are going to look at your oracle cards. We'll shuffle your tarot cards on camera, and then we'll pull some charms and letters for you. The first thing that I was hearing was really interesting. It was that your skin looks very soft, which is really interesting. I feel like you guys have some secret admirers who almost want to touch your skin, is something that I was hearing. Take that if it resonates, but it's like from a distance, it just looks like you have soft skin, which is something that was coming through. Let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards. So we have Uranus, Genius, with the number 9. We have Morning, The World Awaits You, number 40. Okay, so with these 2 cards coming out first, people perceive you as someone who is going places. People perceive you as a genius. People perceive you as somebody who knows a lot of things, has a lot of hidden talents, is something that's also coming through. But with The World Awaits You, it's like people feel like you are going places. You could have really big dreams or really big goals, is something that I'm also feeling. We have Vata, color blue here, and they're more like gold flecks in the waterfall. I don't know if you guys wear gold, or gold and blue could be something that you guys frequently wear. Really interesting that those colors are coming through. Even over here we have the gold. You guys could have gold in your hair. I also feel like you could have maybe gold around or yellow around your iris, is something that I'm also feeling in your eyes. Let's see what else we have. We have Queen, even on this card. Really interesting. You guys could have yellow hair and maybe wear blue a lot, or maybe you have blue hair and like to wear yellow. That's something that I'm feeling, because even in this card we have the person with like the goldish hair and the blue outfit. The Queen says, radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow attribute, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. Interesting. So you guys definitely come across as regal. People see you as somebody who has a very strong sense of authority, maybe over your own life, but you could be in like a position of power is something that's also coming through. You may be like a manager, or even if you're not a manager, you're really good at taking lead in situations, and people see this about you. Let's see what else we have. We have the carrot dragon, observe, Really interesting. So people perceive you to be very observant. You may say things or you may notice certain things that other people wouldn't think that people would normally pick up on, but you may pick up on it. Really interesting. I feel like I'm getting this really weird message. You guys may be able to pick up on where people are from, or you may be able to notice, like, because the way people are dressed or their accents or the way they carry themselves, you may be really good at telling where people are from. Really interesting. Or what kind of heritage they have is something that's also coming through. We have the 31st gene key, sounding your truth. And we have the gift of leadership here with heart branding. So yeah, you guys are definitely seen as a leader amongst people. July 25th through 30th could be significant days, or you could be Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. That's something that's also here. Really interesting leadership. Yeah, so you guys definitely, people see you as a leader. You could be really good in emergency situations, or people just perceive this about you, that you know how to handle your ish, is something that's coming through. And then we have the Scorpion. So you guys could also be a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or have significant 8th house placements, is something that's also coming through. I feel like you guys have a really powerful voice as well. You guys may not speak a lot with the Observe card here, but when you do speak, your words like carry is something that I'm feeling. It's like just the sound of your voice has this quality where it like draws people in. It's really interesting. You may notice this as well as something that I'm feeling, where it's like when you say something, all of a sudden people are listening. Is something that I'm feeling, or like when you speak, you feel like a lot of people are watching you, is something that's coming through. I just feel a lot of people like turning their heads to you whenever you speak, is something that's coming through. Vata. And I actually want to read the card out of the book because I'm not completely familiar. I believe this is a dosha. I think it has to do with air and the ether. I'm not exactly sure though, and I want to make sure I say it right, what the card means. So page 31. So 31 could be significant, a significant number for you. We also have 40 here as well. So Vata, the airy dosha, creative, imaginative, and unpredictable. So people could perceive you as creative, imaginative, and unpredictable as well, is something that's also coming through. Creative one, it's time to let your ideas flourish. You have gotten a gust of the Vata wind energy and are riding its waves out to deeper waters. Ideas are bubbling within you, and your body has become a vessel for its creative blessings. Allow yourself to dance to the rhythm of your thoughts and let them take you to higher places. This veil between the stars and earth has been lifted, and the downloads you are receiving are straight from the universe. Be sure to anchor them down to this earth with action so your visions can manifest into reality. Yeah, so I feel like people perceive you as being a dreamer as well. It's almost like I feel like people see you as somebody who could potentially build an empire as well, with the Queen of Wands here. It's like your ideas, the things that you want to bring into this world seem to be very valuable to other people as well. You may, I feel like you guys may feel called to be an influencer, is something that I'm also feeling, or people may perceive you as somebody who can influence others, is something that I'm feeling as well. Oh, sorry about that. That was my cat. I also, with that little instance, I feel like people perceive you as somebody who doesn't back down as well. You could be kind of fiery or feisty with the things that you say, is something that I'm feeling. I'm seeing the Queen of Wands with this Queen and the Vata energy here. And the Queen of Wands, her words do carry weight. She can be kind of blunt at some times, so people may perceive this about you as well. Morning. Really interesting with a lot of the blues here. You guys may have blue eyes as well, is something that I feel. I also feel like people respect you in a way as well. People perceive you as somebody who has power. And so people may not want to cross you or do anything to like hurt you is something that I'm feeling, because I feel like people perceive you that in this way that you wouldn't be afraid to stand up. You wouldn't, I'm getting, it's like the opposite of a pushover is something that's coming through. Somebody who's very strong and firm in themselves. People perceive you in this way. It's like, don't mess with pile number 1 because they will say something. It's something that's coming through with the Scorpion card here as well. And with the blue card, with a lot of the blues, I feel a lot of emotion with you as well. People may perceive you as to be more emotional or to have more emotion is something that's also coming through. I feel like you guys may get carried away in your emotions as well, and this is something people perceive about you. Let's see what else. And the Scorpion, this is fire energy, so you guys may have a lot of fire in your chart. We do have Leo here, Sagittarius, or Aries as well. Sorry, my mind was drawing a blank. Scorpion. Yeah, it's almost like this energy of like, it's like you might, it's like the stinger of the Scorpion. I feel like the things you say could be, I don't want to say hurtful, but it's like you know the power of your words is something that's coming through. And you guys may have a sharp tongue as well, is something that I'm feeling. I want to go ahead and look at your tarot cards. But people definitely perceive you as regal. You have this air about you, almost of royalty is something that's coming through. And people perceive you as to be very intelligent, especially when it comes to your imagination, your creativity. I feel like you guys may be like inventors is something that's coming through, or you just have really big ideas, big dreams, big goals. It's really interesting because I feel like your eyes express a lot of emotion as well, and people perceive this about you where it's like you may not say a lot, but your eyes almost have this like power of being able to speak. You guys can have siren-like eyes as well with the Scorpion card here. I also feel like people perceive you to be very abundant as well. Whether you have a lot of money or not, people perceive that you do have a lot of money. I feel like it's the way you carry yourself, really. Because you have, it's almost like you walk with your chest held high is something that I'm feeling. And your chin lifted as well. Let's see. I also feel like people perceive you in this way that you take really good care of yourself. That you're one to take care of your health, that you're one to maybe exercise or spend time in nature or do things to help you mentally, physically, and spiritually as well. And I feel like people also perceive you as being very like clean girl is something that's also coming through, where it's like you may take really good care of your skin, you may take really good care of your hair as well. And I feel like you really like nourish your body in this way. Maybe that's why that like soft skin message was coming through in the beginning. You guys may lotion your body frequently. Yeah, it's like, and I also feel like you guys smell good is something that's coming through. Let's see what we get in the tarot cards. Spirit guides of love and light. How do people perceive pile number 1? Up those cards in just 1 second. How do people perceive pile 1? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the cards that fell on the ground, the 5 of Spears and the Queen of Spears, which is the Wands, so the 5 of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, and I love how this person is wearing white as well, and to me this is almost a symbol of like cleanliness or like purity as well, but it's, and also just how she's sitting is like she knows her worth. She knows who she is. She knows her value. Interesting. But with the Five of Spears here as well, I was feeling that energy with the Scorpion card. Like you guys may be combative at sometimes is something that's coming through. It's interesting that in the shadow it says becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. So some people may perceive you in this way as well. Let's go ahead and look at your other cards. Okay. So we have the Nine of Swords. Interesting. And I just saw 13:31 on the clock timer. Really interesting. With the Nine of Swords here and this person, or the wolf like in the cage, I feel like people almost perceive you like you don't have certain freedom is something that's coming through, where you may tend to not go out a lot, or you may tend to kind of hide yourself away is something that I'm feeling as well. I feel like you guys have a lot of responsibility, or you carry this energy of having a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, and so you may not go out a lot, or you may be doing other things instead of playing is something that I'm feeling. A lot of responsibility that I feel with the Nine of Swords coming out. Really interesting. And with the World awaits you, I feel like people may perceive you as being very busy. We have the Eight of Spears, which is the Eight of Wands. Yeah, I feel like people perceive you as almost like you have a lot to do. You have a lot on your to-do list. And this is also why people feel like you're going places, because it's like you have a lot to do and you're getting it done, is something that I'm feeling. We have Strength. Interesting. With the Strength card here, I was hearing experienced. So I feel like you guys may have actually gone through a lot, or experienced a lot, and have cultivated this place of inner strength within. People perceive this about you, that you've done a lot of things, or that it's kind of like trial and tribulation is something that I'm feeling, that you've gone through certain challenge in life as well with the Strength card here. We have the King of Spears. So this is the King of Wands. Really interesting. And we have the Two of Coins. And on it, it says, a Lannister always pays his debts, which is really interesting because I was saying people perceive you as being wealthy. People perceive that you have a lot of money, or you know how to handle your money. You're very responsible with your money as well. And then we had the Five of Spears and the Queen of Spears. So we'll just go ahead and lay all these out. I just saw 15:51 on the clock timer. Really interesting. I feel like you guys may be kind of closed off. You may not share a lot with other people, and it's like people perceive that you have a lot going on internally is something that I'm feeling, where it's like there's something about pile number one that they're not saying is something that I feel like people see in you a lot, is like you have a lot of responsibility, or you have a certain weight on your shoulders is something that I'm also feeling with the King of Wands here. Really interesting. And maybe that's why they feel like you're in this ability, or you have this ability to lead, is because you've gone through certain things and you may not share them with people, but it's like, it's almost like it's in your eyes. It's like the way you look, you have this look about you. It's like, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know who I am, because of, you may have experienced certain things that said, okay, this is who I'm not. This is what I'm not about. Really interesting. I also keep hearing certain people may walk on eggshells around you is something that I'm feeling, because you have this almost like combative energy. I feel like it's also this competitive energy that's coming through with the 5 and the 8 here. It's like this energy of wanting to win, wanting to be the best, wanting to... Yeah, it's almost like wanting to win is something that's coming through. You guys are very, I feel like people perceive you as being very, what's the word? It starts with a P. Perseverance. persevere, fight through the challenge. It's like you're never going to give up. People perceive this about you as like you never give up. You always keep going. You always show up is something that I'm feeling as well. Yeah, and it's interesting too because the Queen of Wands over here is represented by Daenerys Targaryen. And in the book, it's like she's the last of her name. She went through a lot of challenge to become the Queen of Westeros. She went through a lot of people who didn't agree with her, a lot of people who didn't believe in her, a lot of people who maybe didn't see her power or acknowledge her worth, and she just kept rising and rising and rising and rising. She overcame every single challenge. Really interesting that that's coming through. People also perceive you as being a hard worker as well. I feel like you guys could be a Capricorn is something that I'm feeling. It's interesting, your spirit guides are saying you have that certain je ne sais quoi. So it's like you have that certain, like, I don't know what about you, but it's like people I feel like feel that you're like special in some way as well. People perceive you as being unique, different, special. Really interesting. I want to go ahead and look at your charms and your letters. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Okay, we'll do your charms first. Okay. Alrighty. So we have Capricorn that did come out. Here, I'm actually going to zoom in on these. Move them up. Oh. Move all them up, that way we can see. Okay. So we have the Capricorn on the back. It says ambitious. Yeah. So people perceive you as being ambitious. We have Pisces, I believe. Oh, we have Virgo and Pisces. So with the Pisces, we have intuitive, ambitious, intuitive, and practical with Virgo. Yeah, so you guys could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or Pisces. Oh, we also have Cancer. And we have imaginative. Oh, sorry. Imaginative. And that was something that came through earlier, imaginative. I feel like people also perceive you to be like almost like kind of daydreamy as well. Let's see what else. We have the seashell, the owl, the caravan. Yeah, it's like you're going places. Also, this kind of reminds me of the carriage from Cinderella. And Cinderella also had to deal with her stepsister. She had to deal with her stepmom and being locked away. And it was almost like the world was against her, and yet she still made it to the ball. Is something that I feel that people perceive about you. Let's see what else. Let's flip these over. It's really interesting because we have the owl twice, so people definitely perceive you as being intuitive. I feel like people may perceive you as being psychic as well, is something that I'm feeling. We have the seashell twice. Very intuitive. But I almost feel like there's two different ways people perceive you. I feel like more observant people who can look deeper beyond the surface, may perceive you as somebody who has gone through trial and tribulation to get to where you are, or who has gone through challenge to become the person that you are today. But there are also people who may be more shallow or may not look as deep, who perceive you as almost being like born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I think it is because you have this regal energy about you, and you also feel very abundant. You feel very wealthy in your energy, like the queen. You feel like royalty. And you may not have come from wealth, or you may not have had a lot of money, but the way you carry yourself, people may perceive that you have a lot of money. And with the lock being here, people perceive you as being kind of a closed book, Not the type of person to share a lot about their inner world unless you're very close to them, I feel. People may not know a lot about you, so I feel like people's imaginations kind of run wild when it comes to you because you may not share a lot. So they're just kind of like going over like, what is pile number 1 about? Who is pile number 1? With the wheel turning next to the lock, it's like their brains kind of like go in circles. Yeah, and with the hummingbird being here as well, it's like, I feel like when people are with you, they may be very present. Your energy almost like brings people into the present moment because they may not know a lot about you. They have to kind of be present in your energy to kind of pick up on the subtle like clues. What is pile number 1 about? And that's why I feel like the people who are able to see deeper and look beneath the surface, and the people who are more observant could be able to tell that you may have gone through certain challenges in life, because they're able to almost read your eyes is something that keeps coming through. I feel like your facial expressions could also be very telling of certain thoughts that you have as well, especially to people who are more observant. But to people who aren't able to look too deep or read people very well, it's like their head just spins and spins and spins about who you are. Really interesting. Let's see what else I'm seeing with the charms. It's interesting that we have the star here. I feel like it's almost like people perceive that you will be famous one day, which is something that's coming through, or that you'll be known for something. Because I feel like you guys have a really powerful influence over people, you're able to really persuade or convince people of certain things. They almost like put you on a pedestal in this way and feel like you'll be known for something. Because you do have this like genius about you, and because you are very ambitious. Really interesting. I want to go ahead and draw your letters and see. And these could be people's initials, people who are thinking about you. These could be words to describe you, to describe how people perceive you. Just have fun with it. Let's see. Pile number 1. Okay. Alrighty. So we have O-I-A-U. It's interesting. A-E-I-O-U. We have all of the vowels here. We have I, H, S, and L. Okay. Seeing his. Has. Yeah, just have fun with it. Shell. We had another E or another L, shell. A lot of ocean references around you. It's really interesting. I feel like people could perceive you as being very vast, very deep. Intuitive is something that we had. Imaginative, creative. Really interesting. I also feel like people perceive you to be really pretty, really beautiful, with the swan being here as well. The swan also represents creativity and imagination. Yeah, I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 1. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you later. Bye. Hello. If you chose pile number 2 with the seashell, this is your reading. We are going to look at your oracle cards, and then we'll get into your tarot cards, and then we'll look at some charms and some letters as well. How do people perceive you? So the first thing that I was hearing was that you I feel like have really good hearing. I also feel like you could have a really open throat chakra as well. I feel like you guys could be really witty. People perceive you to be very good with your words. And I feel like people perceive you to have really good hearing as well. Which is really kind of random that that's coming out. We're going to go ahead and look at your oracle cards. How do people perceive? I also was feeling the energy of Gemini. So you guys may be a Gemini. You don't have to be. Let's see. We have Libra. I balance. So you guys are really... It's interesting because I'm hearing cute, but I feel like you guys are really physically attractive. I feel like you guys are really beautiful as well. I feel like a lot of people may actually have crushes on you, is something that I'm hearing. Or I feel like a lot of people may go through phases where they have a crush on you, which is really interesting. Let's see what else we have. We have lavender. So we have the number 19 twice. Really interesting. You guys may be seeing 1919. This is also 1, so you guys may be seeing 111 or 999. Lavender, surround yourself with love. Really interesting. And with the lavender being here, I almost feel this like drowsy or sleepy kind of energy. I feel like people are mesmerized by you is something that's coming through. People perceive you to be very mesmerizing, very enchanting as well. Really interesting. I feel almost this like, it's like whenever people look at you, I feel like they almost kind of go into like a trance, or they almost kind of like feel dazed, is something that I'm feeling. Let's see what else we have. We have Dhumavati. Okay. I'm going to scoot this up a little bit. Pile number 2. How do people perceive you? We have the Fool. Sorry if you can hear that. Okay, sorry about that. So we have the Fool. Light attributes, fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. Shadow attributes, using humor to wound rather than liberate. Denial of your emotional truth. So people perceive you as being really funny. And it's interesting, I feel like people also perceive you as being intelligent because of how funny you are. Because you have this really good ability at making other people laugh. Or I feel like you may use humor to alleviate certain situations. But people perceive you as being really funny. I feel like this could also go into this like attractive about you, because people perceive you as funny. They also perceive you as attractive. Let's see what else we have. We have mystery with the pumpkin dragon. Really interesting. So we have orange here, but I also feel like you guys could be more drawn to black. I feel like you guys may wear a lot of black is something that I'm feeling. Also this kind of like gothic energy, emo is something that's coming through. You guys may have a more gothic style is something that I'm feeling, or you just guys may like to wear the color black as well. Also with this pumpkin card here, I feel like people perceive you to be psychic. People perceive you to just know certain things. You guys could be psychic. You guys could be clairaudient is something that I'm feeling strongly with the seashell here. We have the 46th gene key. September 21st through 26th could be significant. Virgo, Libra, cusp. So you guys could resonate as being a Virgo. And then we have Libra twice. So this is the shadow of seriousness, the gift of delight, and the city of ecstasy. Yeah, ecstasy. It's almost like, I feel this like excitement around you. This almost like buzz or hum of excitement around you. You could frequently be surrounded by people with with this card here. So I feel like people perceive you as to have a lot of friends is something that's coming through. People perceive you with this delight and the shadow of seriousness. The shadow of seriousness, I I feel it's interesting with the shadow here, using humor to wound rather than liberate, denial of emotional truth. Let's go ahead and look at your other card. We have Tarantula. Interesting. Pile number 2. And with the Science of Luck here, at the very top of this card, I feel like people perceive you to be lucky as well. I feel like you have this really good ability of seeing the lighter side of life, or people perceive this about you, that you're able to, almost like an alchemist, shift negativity into positivity. That's why I feel this like, with the masks here, I feel like when things feel more heavy or when people are more serious, I feel like you're almost able to use humor to lift the mood, is something that's coming through. Really interesting. You guys may be really have a lot of emotion or have a lot of emotional depth to you, is something that I'm feeling, because you feel things so deeply. I feel like you choose to lift the mood. People may perceive this about you as well, that it's almost like you may be hiding something, hiding certain emotion. You may be really good at expressing your emotion, I don't know. But with the mask being here, it's almost giving me this feeling of like concealing or not wanting to show people. This like sad part of you is something that I'm feeling. And it's interesting, fearlessly revealing emotion. So you guys, people may perceive you to be more emotional, as something that's coming through. See what else I'm seeing. I feel like people perceive you to be really smart, to know a lot of things, to be really intelligent. And the Tarantula card here is also a fire element, so people could perceive you to be more feisty as well. But the Tarantula is about following your dharma, or being in alignment with your dharma. So I feel like you guys have a really deep understanding about your purpose, is something that's coming through. If that doesn't resonate, I feel like people perceive that you know what you're doing, is something that's coming through. It's really interesting. I do feel like there could be a lot of people around you, or a lot of people who want to be around you, is something that's coming through. People perceive you as being really charismatic, a really good people person, a really good talker, a smooth talker. I'm hearing a smooth operator. So I feel like people perceive you as being very charismatic as well. I feel like people also perceive that you are, even if they don't believe this themselves, you know, everybody is always at the right place at the right time, but they may perceive that you are, which is really interesting. Like pile number 2 is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. It's something that's coming through. I feel like you also have this ability to help other people see the lighter side of life, or find fun and joy and play in things, is something that's coming through. So people perceive you to be a very funny, playful, joyful, lighthearted person as well. It's really interesting that we have Dhumavati here. I need to relook in the book, but I'm pretty sure Dhumavati is a deity that deals with doom and gloom and the prediction of troubles and tribulation. Let me look really quickly, because I'm still kind of really getting familiar with this deck. Dhumavati, page 111, 1111, or I feel like you guys may be seeing 1111 or 111. We had that here with the 1 and the 1. Both of these reduced to 1, also 1919. Let's see, let me flip to the page. Oh, it's like I'm skipping right over it. Goddess of disappointment and letting go. You, my darling, have finally realized that all of the hardships and struggles you face were brought on your path for a very important reason. They shaped you to be the person you are today. You have put together the dots on all the most difficult points on your journey and realized that it was all necessary to be here now. Dumavati has come to remind you to give thanks to the struggles you face. They've made you your highest self. Yeah, it's interesting. Give thanks to the struggles. It's like people perceive you as being able to almost like shift the mood or change the environment that you're in, which is really interesting. I feel like you guys may walk into a room that may feel very tense, and just your aura, your energy, also the way you speak, allows the mood to lighten. You're able to almost like dissipate this like negativity or this darkness is something that's coming through. People really perceive you in a really light way. You guys may resonate as being a light worker is something that I'm feeling. I feel like you guys are a light worker in your everyday life is something that's coming through. Maybe not so much on like a big grand scale where you have this big stage and you have this big audience. It's like you're a light worker one-on-one. The people that you connect with, maybe at the grocery store or your coworkers, you help lift these people up and you help these people feel really lighthearted. And people perceive this about you, that you have this very lightness in your like aura, this energy of not taking things too seriously, of being able to laugh at yourself, of being able to laugh and have fun. Really interesting. I feel like people love being around you, and this may be why a lot of people have crushes on you as well. I'm actually going to scoot these down a little bit, that way we can kind of see the Libra card over here. Yeah, a lot of, and I feel like people get in that message coming through, people may go through phases of having crushes on you, where it's like, I feel there's a lot of people in your life who at one point had a crush on you. Let's see. People also perceive you to be very loyal as well, very committed to your friends. I feel people also perceive you to be very open and honest about the things that you feel. Let's look at your cards. Spirit guides of love and light. How do people perceive pile number 2? How do people perceive pile number 2? Okay, so we have the 5 of coins that fell on the ground. Interesting. And with this image of like the church in the back, I feel like people almost perceive you in this very like, it's almost like you give people hope is something that's coming through, that things are going to get better, that it's not always going to be this bad, or that the bad times don't last as long. Something that's coming through. It's like you really help people kind of lighten their mood, lighten their emotion. And people perceive you as being very like uplifting is something that's coming through. We have the Knight of Cups. So people also perceive you as being more of a, your spirit guides are saying romantic fanatic. People perceive you as being really into romance, really into chivalry is something that's coming through. I feel like people also perceive you as the type of person who likes to receive fine gifts, or who likes to be wined and dined is something that's coming through. Really interesting. I'm hearing people say if pile number 2 was mine, I would spoil them, which is really interesting because I feel like you have this very like light-hearted, fun, joyful, happy-go-lucky type energy is something that people also perceive you as. They want to take care of you. You guys have a lot of people who would stand up for you as well, and I believe, yeah, I saw the 9 of Spears here, because that's kind of what I feel like I'm getting into, the 9 of Spears, people who would stand up for you. People view you as being very loyal to them, so they are very loyal to you as well. It's interesting because with this card here as well, I feel like people would almost chant things in your name, which is really interesting. It's like if you find something to be true, other people would also find this to be true because you found this to be true, which is really interesting. You guys also have the power of influence. Pile number 1 did as well. You may have felt drawn to pile number 1. We have the Page of Coins. Interesting. With Tyrion Lannister. A lot of people underestimated him. Yeah. I feel like your strength is very soft. But Tyrion Lannister also had a really powerful voice. He was very charismatic and he was really good with his words. So I feel like people perceive this about you as well. You're very well-spoken. Well-educated is something that's also coming through. We have the Two of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of people I feel like who want to be closer to you than they already are. Is something that's coming through. People in your friend circle. If you're single, I feel like you could have a friend who has a really big crush on you. Is something that I'm feeling. Okay, and then we had the Knight of Cups, which I showed that one, and then we have the Chariot. Yeah, I feel like you guys have such a powerful voice, you would be able to rally people. Really interesting. People also perceive you as being a leader. People also perceive you as being a very strong public speaker. Gemini and Libra. You could have Gemini in the 7th house. That would mean that you would be a Sagittarius rising, I think. A Sagittarius rising. We also have Cancer here. Or you could have Libra in the 3rd house, so that would be a Leo rising, I believe. See what else I'm seeing. How do people perceive pile number 3? Yeah, people perceive you as being very well-spoken. Charismatic is something that keeps coming through. Charismatic, charming as well. I feel like this makes you attractive to people because you have this like charm about you. I feel like people could also perceive you as being very flirty. Is something that's coming through with the Knight of Cups here. The Chariot. Yeah, I feel like people perceive you as being a really good friend. A really good coworker as well is something that I'm hearing. I feel a lot of people perceive you as being their friend. You may have a lot of friends. If you don't think that you have a lot of friends, people perceive you in this way as anyway. Pile number 2 is my friend. I feel like if there was somebody who didn't like you, there would be so many people that stood up and been like, no, pile number 2 is an amazing person. Pile number 2 is an angel. They're a sweetheart. They're a beautiful goddess queen. Like, I feel like you have so many people who really admire you. And they perceive you in this light. Yeah, with the lavender card here again, surround yourself with love. Yeah. People also perceive you as somebody who's really fun to hang around, fun to hang out with, fun to talk to. People also perceive you as being somebody who's really good in relationships as well. 18 plus, but I also heard good in bed. People perceive you as being somebody who's good in bed. Let's go ahead and I want to look at your charms and your letters. So we'll start with your charms. Okay. We me just kind of flip these over. We'll go ahead and zoom in. Scoot these up a little bit. Kind of keep them. See what I'm seeing. You guys may have like Italian or something that's coming through. I also heard spicy for some reason. People perceive you to be very spicy. Again, I'm hearing enchanting as well with the Cupid being next to the swan. It's like this energy of like magic that surrounds you. People perceive you to be very magical, very enchanting, very mesmerizing. I also feel like people perceive you to be some kind of like diplomat as well. Somebody who's able to keep the peace between friends. Somebody who knows almost like the power of harmony as well, with the like wasp being next to the peace. It's like you're able to really calm down situations. Something that I feel. See what else I'm seeing. Yeah, with the elephant with the heart and the heart on its trunk, makes me feel like a lot of people have love for you. A lot of people might not say this though, with the lock next to the like elephant. Yeah, people, if you are single, I feel, and you haven't expressed to certain people that you're single, I feel like people may perceive you as taken just because you have this energy of being very committed, very loyal to the ones that you love. Let's see what else I'm seeing. You also have this like air of freedom around you with the cat here. The cat is all about independence. And the baby carriage. Why is the baby carriage here? Yeah, I feel like people perceive you that you would be a really good like mom or dad as well. I feel like you guys are really good with children, or people perceive this about you, that you're really good with kids. I feel like you allow people this like freedom to be themselves. I feel like you're very open-minded, very tolerant. People perceive this about you, that you can look at somebody who may be completely different from you and understand that they are exactly who they are, and it's perfect. Is something that's coming through. Very like peacekeeper type energy with the peace and the Libra eye balance. And I just saw 333 on the clock timer, 345 or 334. 333 and 334 could be significant. I want to go ahead and look at your letters. Yeah. Very magical energy around you. People perceive you as magical. People perceive you as this like peacekeeper. Let's see, pile number 2. You guys got kind of a lot of letters. We're going to keep all of them. I'll move these over a little bit. These could be certain people's initials who could be thinking about you. These could also be words to describe how people perceive you. Just have fun with the letters. We have N-I-S-X. I'm going to flip this over. Oh. I-S-X. I. Yeah. Remember what I was saying, guys? Really good in bed. T-N-R-D-U. Another I. Another I. D-L-A. And then we have a blank. So the blank can be anything. P, N, X, Y. See if I'm seeing anything. I keep seeing a lot of dirty words or things that remind me of dirty words with this pile. You guys are really witty, I'm telling you. And people perceive you to be really witty, really good with your words. We have stride. Stride. Yeah. I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of our Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you later. Bye. Hello. If you chose pile number 3 with the Labradorite, this is your reading. So the first thing that I was seeing was actually the Northern Lights, and the feeling that people get when they look at the Northern Lights. I feel that's almost how people feel when they look at you, this feeling of like awe, or like it's magical, or like it's a once in a lifetime thing, something that's coming through. Let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards, and then we'll look at we'll shuffle your tarot on camera, and then we'll look at your charms and your letters. So you guys have number 25, the first house with the body. Body. So I feel like the first thing that people notice when they see you is your body is something that's coming through. You guys could be fit is something that's coming through, or you could be like, I'm hearing somebody say curvy in all of the right places. So take that as that resonates. These readings have been kind of spicy today. Let's see. So we have witch, justice is coming. Interesting. Number 27. So we have 2 repeating 2s, also 7. So you could be seeing 222 or 777. Something that I'm feeling. I do feel like people perceive you to be very magical. You may openly be a witch, and people know this about you, and so they see you this way, but I feel like it's almost like people perceive you as somebody who like knows how to work with magic. Maybe you are into divination or channeling or connecting with spirits. If not, people just perceive this about you, that you're very psychic or you're very in touch with the unseen is something that's coming through. We have tapas, and I'll have to look this card up because I'm not exactly sure what it means. Tapas. Let's see. We have Avenger. Interesting. Light attributes, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And we have justice is coming down here. So we have justice mentioned twice. Wow. So people perceive you as somebody who would stand up for the underdog as well, somebody who will fight for what's right. We have the shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. So people feel like you may fight for a cause as well. People feel like you stand up for what's right. You guys may have Libra, or maybe a Libra rising is something that I'm feeling, or may have a Libra North Node as well. Let's see what else we have. We have defense with the dragon fruit dragon. Interesting. Dragon fruit, and then we have the image of the dragonfly. I'll show that up close. Interesting. We have the first gene key. So November 5th through 10th could be significant, or Scorpio, from entropy to syntropy. The shadow of entropy, the gift of freshness, and the city of beauty. And with the Promethean fire here, I feel like I'm getting a couple of messages. People feel or people perceive you to be very creative. People perceive you to be very fiery or feisty as well. And I feel like people perceive you to also be kind and giving. The story of Prometheus, I believe he gave fire to the people, and I think it wasn't the gods didn't see this as a good thing, and so he ended up getting in a bunch of trouble for it, but he did what he felt was right for the people. I feel almost have this freeing or liberating energy about you that people perceive, that it's people perceive that you can free others is something that's coming through, or that you can help others or liberate others. This could be mentally, this could be emotionally, this could be physically as well. I feel like you guys also would be the type of friend to allow another friend to stay the night or sleep over if they're maybe in a situation that's not safe for them, is something that's coming through. I also feel this strong hero energy around you. People perceive you to be some sort of hero is something that's coming through. And then we have the stingray. Interesting. So with the chakras being in alignment here, I feel like people perceive you to be in alignment with yourself is something that I'm also feeling. And also the stingray talks about having a backbone or standing up for something. So I feel like people perceive you to have very strong beliefs, very strong opinions as well, is something that I'm feeling. And I feel like people perceive you to really stand up and fight is something that's coming through. I feel like if you see some sort of unjust, or if you see something going on that you feel like isn't right or fair, you may be the type of person to actually point it out and be like, hey, this isn't right. And people may see this and they may know this about you as well. Really interesting. I'm also hearing quiet confidence as well. With the Avenger here and how they have the mask over their eyes, it's almost like you may do certain things from behind the scenes. It's interesting too because this person has their back turned to us. So it's like a lot of the things you do you may not want recognition for. It's really interesting, or you may not want to be put in a leadership position. Really interesting in it, but it's like you guys have this essence of being a hero, of standing up for what's right, of standing up for the underdog as well. I feel like you guys, people perceive you as somebody to not mess with as well, is something that I'm feeling. Especially, I feel like if people are maybe shadier or doing things that they know aren't right, I feel like they would steer clear of you is something that's coming through. They may not be in your energy because they perceive this about you, that you'd be the type of person. Your spirit guides are saying lawful good. So it's like you follow the rules and you do what's right is something that's coming through. Really interesting. But it's coming almost from a place of the background of not being of not wanting to be in the forefront, of not wanting to be the person who's taking credit or receiving recognition, because it's you know that what you did was right, which is something that's coming through. Really interesting. Pile number 3. Let's go ahead and look at the Tapas card. It is Yoga, page 93, so 93 could be a significant number for you, or 3 or 9. So Tapas, self-discipline, interesting. So people perceive you as somebody who has a lot of self-discipline. I'm also hearing self-restraint as well, which is interesting because I feel like that goes back to the lawful good thing, where it's you wouldn't put yourself in a situation to break the rules or break the law is something that's coming through. I'm also seeing somebody driving the speed limit. You may tell your friends frequently they need to drive the speed limit, which was really interesting. I don't know why that's coming through. Maybe only a specific message for one person. So it says, upright. You've gotten where you are because of your discipline, tapas, and this will continue to take you where you need to go. While discipline sounds like a heavy word, it is really just committing to becoming the highest version of yourself. I feel like people also perceive that you are, it's almost like just, or like, it's this very like pure, your spirit guides are saying highest version of yourself here, in the description. Let's go ahead and see. It says the next evolvement will require refinement of your inner strength. You are undergoing a deep transformation, stepping outside of your comfort zone, gaining strength, moving through fear. Now is the time to ask yourself the important question. I also feel like people perceive you as being fearless. You may not feel this way. I feel like you guys may actually feel quite a bit of fear, but I feel like you don't let that stop you, is something that's coming through. Now is the time to ask yourself the important questions. What practices have I committed to? What practices do I still need to commit to? Is my daily routine serving me? How can I improve it? Where do I need to set boundaries in my life to further align with my truth? Am I showing up for myself the way I would a friend or a child? Really interesting. Self-discipline. Yeah. So people perceive you as being somebody who has their ish under control, who knows what they're doing, who knows where they're going. You guys may be interested in working in law as well, as something that I'm hearing. Really interesting. Pile number 3. Because you have this energy of Avenger here, you have this aura of being a hero around you, people may kind of reveal themselves to you, and this may be something that people, they're saying painfully aware of. It's like, I feel like you have this ability to like see beyond, really see people's intentions, really know what it is that somebody is wanting. Really interesting. So I feel like people may, I also feel like people are intimidated by you, is something that I'm feeling. People may perceive you to be very intimidating. I feel like you guys may exercise or you may work out. You guys may do yoga with the self-discipline in the body card here. Really interesting. You guys, people also perceive you to be very strong. You have this like inner strength about you. It's like nothing is gonna sway you, is something that's coming through. Very strong and sturdy and stable. Nothing sways you. It's really interesting. I feel like people may also perceive that it's very hard to tempt you, is something that's coming through. You have a very, it's like strong character, is something that I'm feeling. I feel like you guys may really relate to the hero's journey, is something that I'm feeling as well. But I want to go ahead, oh, sorry, I dropped some cards. I want to go ahead and look at your tarot cards and see what cards come through. Let me just shuffle these really quickly. Spirit guides of love and light. How do people perceive pile number 3? How do people perceive pile number 3? Really interesting. I was hearing while I was shuffling, you know how to take what you're given and make something of it, which is really interesting. So you guys people may perceive you as somebody who didn't start with a lot. And it's interesting that we have the Ace of Coins here. It's like people may perceive you that you didn't start with a lot, but everything that you have, you attained on your own. I also feel like you guys, people may perceive that you have the ability to build some sort of empire as well. I'm also feeling a lot of Libra energy with your pile. Let's see. Go ahead and lay out all of your cards. So we have Judgment. Okay, so something that I am feeling, because you have this like almost lawful good energy about you, where you aren't the type of person to be reckless or break rules just to break rules. I feel like you may break rules, but I feel like it's because you have a cause, is something that's coming through, or because you view a rule as unjust. I can't see you just like breaking laws or being reckless just for the fun of it, is something that's coming through. So with the Judgment card, because of this trait, people may perceive you to be kind of judgmental, is something that's coming through. I don't feel like you guys are judgmental. I feel like this energy can be misunderstood because you have this strong character, you have strong opinions, and you have a strong sense of what is right. And if it isn't in alignment with what other people view as right, they may view you as judgmental, is something that I'm feeling. Then we have the Ace of Coins. We have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, and I love that there's Jon Snow is on this card, because in the Game of Thrones, Jon Snow ends up becoming, I'm pretty sure he ends up becoming the king of, he like ends up becoming the king, but he didn't ever want the position. It's like people would naturally just kind of put him in this position. People wanted to see him lead. He also had this energy of being a hero at times, of standing up for what was right, even when others didn't. Even when others didn't, he did. He also, it's interesting because I feel like you guys, people perceive you to stand up for the underdog. I feel at certain points in your life, you may have felt that you were the underdog, is something that's coming through. The Eight of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, I feel like people also perceive you to be self-made, self-taught. It's like everything that you have, people know or perceive that you got it on your own, that you got it through hard work, dedication, self-discipline. We have the Seven of Coins. It's interesting, I'm hearing your spirit guide say the long game. The long game. I feel like you wouldn't be the type of person to reach out for instant gratification. That may be why I feel this energy of not being easily tempted by things, because I feel like it's almost like you play, your spirit guides are saying you're playing life on hard, but also you are here for the long haul. And because of this energy of being self-made, self-taught, being here for the long haul, I feel like it will take you far. And you do have this energy of abundance around you, of being a leader, of being a hero, of being able to achieve whatever it is that you desire. And I also feel like you guys are very ambitious, is something that's coming through, but it's like you persevere, you keep going. And you also have this energy, people perceive you as being very patient as well. We have the Queen of Swords here. Yeah. I feel like the Queen of Swords and the Judgment almost should be next to each other, because it was that energy coming through of where people may perceive you as being judgmental. I feel like people may perceive you as being kind of sharp with your words, or the things you say may be perceived as critical, but I feel like it would only be perceived that way by people who may be not doing things very, what's the word? Or like they may be shady in some sort of way, or they may be like kind of sneaky. I feel like you'd be the type of people to call those people out, and then they may perceive you as being judgmental or critical of them. Something that's coming through. And then we have the Page of Cups over here. Pile number 3. How do people perceive you? I feel like people perceive you as being very loyal. People also perceive you as being one to not back down from a fight, is something that I'm seeing. Even if, it's interesting, your spirit guides are saying losing, but they're putting it in quotes because they're saying when you try, you will succeed. So there's really no such thing as losing. But other people may perceive this. It's like two people in a fight, we'll say like a boxing fight, and one person is getting hit and hit and hit, or like almost knocked down. It's like when you're in this energy, it's like you find so much strength in this energy, and people know this and see this about you, that you know how to, you have this like deep well of strength from within, is something that's coming through. And this energy of perseverance around you is what allows you to be successful. It's almost like I'm hearing your spirit guides are saying, never gonna give you up, never gonna mess around, or something like that. It's like you have this energy of never giving up, never backing down, putting in the work. Really interesting. And this is how people perceive you. Whether you feel this way about you or not, this is just how people perceive you, that you never give up, that you keep going, that you keep pushing, that you keep showing up. Really interesting. I want to go ahead and look at your charms. And your letters. Let's go ahead and do your charms first. Pile number 3. Okay, I'm just going to scoop these up. Okay. We'll zoom in. Okay. So we do have Libra that came through. And on the back it says charming. So people perceive you as charming as well. And we have Scorpio. And on the back it says passionate. Yeah, people perceive you as passionate. People perceive you as being passionate about what you love. And that's why I feel this very strong, like, standing up for what you believe is right. I feel like you guys could have a lot of really strong opinions. And people perceive you to be the one to, like, stand up for what you believe in, because you feel so strongly about it. Let's see what else we have. So we have the word hope here. And this says Buena Suerte. Buena Suerte. You guys may speak Spanish. I don't know what that means. Buena, I think means good. Suerte, I'm not exactly sure. A lot of animals. We have the pig, which is about being intelligent. But it's interesting because it has the heart next to it as well. So I feel like you guys are really, I feel like you guys follow your heart. And people perceive you to be the type of person to follow your heart. We have the horse here, which represents freedom. And I think that was that coming through in this pile? People perceive you to be the type of person to help free others, mentally, physically, or emotionally. We have the elephant here, which is also about loyalty. The cat is about independence. It's interesting too with the Scorpio and the tiger here, because I feel like people also perceive you to be kind of sensual. Sensual. It's like almost like the dark feminine is something that I'm feeling. And your spirit guides just keep drawing me back to this energy of knowing what you want, knowing who you are, knowing what you stand up for, what you believe in. What you believe in, you will stand up for. With the time here, interesting. I'm hearing this song, I think it's called Kryptonite. How does the song go? It's like, stood there in the sands of time. I saw the world float through the dark side of the moon. And it's interesting because Kryptonite was Superman's weakness. So a lot of like hero themes keep coming through you. People perceive you as being this sort of hero in a way. See what else I'm seeing. I also feel like people may perceive you to be an idealist as well. Like you have ideas or beliefs about the world being a better place or wanting to make the world a better place. And with the spinning wheel here as well, I feel like you almost wake people up out of illusion is something that's coming through, because I'm seeing in Sleeping Beauty how everything, like when she fell asleep, the world kind of fell to darkness, and when she awoken or when she woke up, everything became more beautiful, it became clearer. You may, I feel, have this, or you may feel like you have this very strong purpose or mission to help uplift people. A lot of idealism that keeps coming through. This is how people perceive you, very idealistic. I feel like you guys could also be, people perceive you as being perfectionistic as well. Interesting. So we're going to go ahead and draw your letters. So your letters could be people's initials, people's names that may be thinking about you, or they could also be words that people perceive you as. Let's go ahead and see. Pile number 3. We have A, and just have fun with the letters as well. A, D, I, R, L, E, S, V. Again, I'm kind of seeing that like and then we have S, like Avengers. And you did get the Avenger archetype. The Avenger. Really interesting. I love that. W, Q, S. Also have Avon. Let's see. Advent. Assist. Don't think we have a T. Assist. Assist. Yeah. I also feel like people perceive you as being a helper in a way. A helper, somebody who wants to help other people, take care of other people, uplift other people. I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye! Hello! If you chose pile number 4 with the Selenite wand, this is your reading. How do other people perceive you? So the first thing that I was hearing when connecting with your group was chaotic. Whether you believe this about yourself or not, I feel like other people see you as a little chaotic is really a good word to describe it. I want to go ahead and really jump straight in and look at your oracle cards, and then we'll pull your tarot cards, and then we'll do charms and letters for you. So let's go ahead and lay out all of your cards. You have Taurus, I have, with the number 14, which reduces to the number 5. With the energy of 5 here, I feel like you may value change, or people feel like you change a lot is something that's coming through. You may frequently change the way you do your makeup, or your style may often change, or people perceive this about you. You may change your hair often is something that's also coming through. I feel like you change your surroundings a lot as well. I feel also Scorpio energy coming through. Let's go ahead and look at your other cards. So we have the number 4. So you guys could be seeing 444 as a repeating number. Mirror, treat your body like the palace it is. I also feel like people perceive you as being the life of the party. Very fun, free-spirited, carefree as well. I'm also getting, your spirit guides are saying dance like nobody's watching. So people perceive you in this way, that you may be very carefree and not really care about what other people think, which is really interesting. Let's see what else we have. We have Booty. I'm going to have to look this up in the book because I'm not quite sure exactly what it means. We have Networker. Light attributes enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Shadow attribute conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. I also feel like people perceive you as being very spiritual as well. You could be religious, you don't have to be, but I feel like people perceive you as being aware of the unseen or the unknown. I feel like people perceive you as being very psychic as well. And I feel like people perceive you as being able to connect or communicate with spirits is something that's coming through. And I feel like you guys could have had imaginary friends as children as well, or people perceive this about you, that you're very connected to spirits beyond. You may speak of the occult or talk of the occult. People perceive that you would be one or would be somebody who's interested in this is something that's coming through. Let's see what else we have. We have Friends with the Corn Dragon. Okay, so with this card coming out, people perceive you to have a lot of friends as well. I am feeling this energy like you may be the type of friend to keep other friends informed with a networker here. So people perceive that you are almost in the know. Is something that's coming through where like you know of what's going on, or you're the friend that people go to when they're trying to find something out about somebody. Something that's coming through. Really interesting. Your spirits are saying, your spirit guides are saying confidant. So there may be a lot of people who confide in you, so they may perceive that other people also confide in you. Really interesting. We have the 63rd gene key. March 2nd through 6th could be significant days. And Pisces. So this is the shadow of doubt, the gift of inquiry, and the city of truth. Interesting. Pile number 4. And then we have the wolf. Yeah. So people definitely perceive that you have a lot of friends, or that you are a part of a group of people. Interesting. I'm getting kind of mixed message. With the wolf here, I was initially feeling like you guys, people may perceive that you have a lot of friends, especially with the networker here, but I also am feeling like people may perceive that you're a bit of a lone wolf. Really interesting. So I feel like you guys actually may shift between friend groups is something that's coming through. It's almost like you can be friendly with a lot of people, or people perceive that you're friendly with a lot of people, but there may not be a lot of people who know you at a very like deep, intimate level is something that's coming through. Or people may perceive that you're a bit of a lone wolf or a bit of like a drifter is something that's coming through. That may be why people perceive you as the networker, because I feel like you could be in an environment where there's different groups is something that's coming through. Like certain people hang out with these people and certain people can't hang out with these people. It's really coming through as like in high school, you know how there's like the goth kids, and then there's the like more nerdy kids, and then there's the preppy kids, and then there's the more like kids who are like really into academics. It's almost like that. I feel like you guys could be around or in an environment that's kind of divided like that. but I feel like you guys are perceived as being somebody who's connected to all of them, which is really interesting. I feel like people also may perceive you as a jack of all trades, is something that's coming through. It's very interesting with Taurus being here as well, because the Taurus card in tarot is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is a spiritual mentor, somebody who's very well-versed and well-knowledgeable when it comes to things of religion or spirituality. So people may perceive that you're very knowledgeable in these fields of like spirituality, religion, connecting with the divine is something that's also coming through. Let's see what else I'm seeing. People also perceive you as being very curious by nature. With inquiry here, you may ask a lot of questions, or people perceive that you ask a lot of questions, that it's almost like this curious energy that I feel. You're very curious. You want to know, you want to discover, you want to explore. This is something that people perceive about you. I want to go ahead and look at the booty card in the book. And see, I'm going to have to look it up. So booty is under spirituality, page 27, and the Taurus card also deals with spirituality. So people perceive you as knowing a lot about spirituality as well. You may know a lot about, your spirit guides are saying life after life, really interesting, life after death. You may know a lot about like reincarnation, or being a medium, or you may have watched a lot of like, what are they called? It's called something, a near-death experience is what it's called. You may have watched a lot of people talk about near-death experiences. You may learn a lot about signs, symbols, synchronicities. You may know a lot about angel numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys were a tarot reader as well, is something that I'm feeling. And people may perceive this about you as well, that you know a lot when it comes to spirituality. So booty is on page 27, and it says, inner wisdom, intellect. Wise one, you are now remembering what you were born with, all the answers that you were seeking. So people definitely perceive you as somebody who's a seeker. You have realized life is not about learning, but rather relearning, letting go of the illusion so we can remember our innate solutions. You have silenced the chattering of the mind to allow the whispers of the soul to speak, and are now beginning to truly read the vast textbooks that exist inside you. This is the time to rewrite your story, authored by the greater wisdom of your soul. And this is what booty means. So intellect, people perceive you as being very intellectual. Having a lot of inner wisdom. I feel like people perceive you to be the type of person who has maybe like a daily spiritual practice, meditation, pulling a daily tarot card, yoga, these types of things are coming through. Really interesting. I want to go ahead and look at your tarot cards. I also am getting a very strong like fairy vibe with this pile as well, so you guys may be my fairy pile, is something that I'm feeling. People may perceive that, and also it's like kind of mischievous in a way. I feel like you guys would be very mischievous, almost kind of like I'm seeing like a child like wandering away, getting into trouble unknowingly, is something that I'm feeling. So people may perceive you in this way, that you might get into trouble on accident is something that's coming through. I feel like you guys are very curious by nature, and I feel like people perceive this about you, that you are very curious about a lot of things and you just want to know and learn. Let's go ahead and look at your tarot cards. Spirit guides of love and light. How do people perceive pile number 4? How do people perceive card and this one. So you guys kind of got a lot of cards. Oh, and as I was putting the deck down, this card came out. The Nine of Cups. I love that. And this character in the Game of Thrones is very intellectual. He also tends to get in a lot of trouble because of his curiosity, which is really interesting. And the card that fell on the ground was the King of Wands, the King of Spears. So in this deck, the Spears is the Wands. We'll go ahead and flip over all your cards. Okay. And we're only taking uprights. So we have the King of Wands. Interesting. I feel like it's interesting with this card. Normally I wouldn't get this, but I'm feeling almost this energy of somebody who gets lost in thought or daydreams or contemplates. I feel like people perceive that your mind is always going, is something that I'm feeling. Like your mind is always spinning, you're always thinking. Just put these. Okay, then we have the Ace of Cups. And I'm hearing this song. This song came through the other day whenever I was doing a reading. It's the song Light My Love by Greta Van Fleet. And they sing, your mind is a stream of colors extending beyond our sky. Land of infinite wonders. You'll be light years from here now. So I feel like you almost kind of feel very like you're there or you're in the room but you're not there, is something that people may perceive about you, like you're daydreaming or you're thinking about something, or you are almost like lost in a whole other world, is something that's coming through that people perceive about you. And then we have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, and it's interesting how he's like sitting in front of a library. I feel like people perceive that that you're very well read, that you've maybe read a lot or learned a lot. I feel like you guys could also be self-taught. People perceive this about you, that a lot of the things you learned, you just kind of discovered and learned on your own. We have the King of Coins. Interesting. And this character actually in the Game of Thrones as well, he, I believe his name is Littlefinger, I think. He also was kind of a networker in a way, which is interesting because you guys did get the networker card. He always knew what was going on behind the scenes. So you guys, I feel like, have a lot of people who confide in you, which is really interesting. I am feeling Pisces energy as well. Pisces, Taurus, and Scorpio. Let's see if I'm seeing any other signs. Not right now, but we'll look at the charms and see if any signs come through in the charms as well. But I feel like you guys are really good listeners. I feel like your curious nature makes you also curious not only about spirituality and about the things you're interested in, but also about people. And so I feel like people have confided in you a lot. And so they perceive, again, that other people have also confided in you. So you're almost a networker in this way where you share information about other people or things that may be going on behind the scenes, which is really interesting. People perceive that you know a lot, is something that I'm feeling. And then we have the Lovers. Really interesting. The Lovers. So I do feel people could perceive that you are in a relationship, but I also feel with this card coming through, people perceive that you're very passionate. You're very passionate. And I feel like it's almost like the things you're interested in, it has this like fire feeling to it, where it's like exciting. It's almost like a spark that I'm feeling. Go ahead and scoot these down. I'm probably going to have to, just want to make sure all the cards can be seen. Okay. And then we have the Ten of Coins. Okay. We have the Four of Cups. Interesting, again, we have Littlefinger here offering a cup to Sansa Stark. Interesting. You guys also, and I normally wouldn't get this from this card as well. The Four of Cups doesn't traditionally mean this, but with this card I'm feeling like you offer almost like insight and wisdom to people that they may not have thought or may not have understood because of how much knowledge and how much things you know, because you love to learn. I feel like people perceive you as almost like a mentor in a way. Somebody who can offer them insight or advice or guidance. Really interesting. We have the Ten of Cups. So you guys have the Ten of Coins and the Ten of Cups. You guys may be really into law of attraction, I feel as well. I feel like people view you as, or people perceive you as a very powerful manifester. And I feel like people also perceive that you have this ability to get whatever it is that you want, which is really interesting. Sorry if you can hear that in the back. I think my husband is blowing his nose. We have the Two of Spears. Yeah, and also in this card, this is Daenerys. She's kind of looking into the distance. This is also giving me a very like dreamy, dreamer type energy. I feel like you guys may spend a lot of time in your mind, is something that I'm really feeling. And we did have Pisces mentioned here as well on your Gene Key card. March 2nd through 6th could be significant. But I feel like you guys almost have this energy of dreaming about what you want. It's interesting because I feel like this is something that makes, because you know, the first step to law of attraction is knowing what you want. And so when you know what you want, you can get what you want. And also, I feel like you guys have this really powerful ability to vision and imagine what it is that you want coming true. And this may be why you're able to manifest things. Taurus is also deals with the second house. So you guys may be able to manifest money really quickly, is something that I'm seeing. Okay, and then we have the Five of Cups. Really interesting. So, I do feel like people perceive you as having a lot more than most is something that I feel. I feel people perceive you as being very good with manifestation, with the law of attraction. But I do feel like people may also perceive you as being stubborn in a sense, of not wanting to let things go, of not wanting to detach from certain things. I feel like you guys may get very attached to certain things or wanting something a certain way. And when it doesn't happen this way, it may make you feel sad, is something that I'm feeling. Or this feeling of almost like I should have had that. Because you guys are very powerful manifestors, I feel like you do oftentimes get whatever it is that you want. Or people perceive this about you, that you can have whatever you want, you can have the world, is what I'm hearing. Really interesting. And I did want to note, I saw 1818 on the clock timer. See what else I'm seeing. Yeah, with this Nine of Cups here, we have the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles or the Ten of Coins, and the Ten of Cups. These are all like really abundant, fruitful cards about having what you desire, wish fulfillment, having financial success, financial abundance. And then the Taurus card, the second house, can also deal with financial success, financial abundance. The King of Coins as well deals with financial success, financial abundance. So I feel like people perceive you as having a lot of money, is something that's coming through. You guys may actually be, I feel like you guys may like higher quality things, is something that I'm feeling, like name brand stuff is what I'm really feeling. And so people may perceive that you have a lot of money because it's like whatever you want, you can get. And I'm hearing the Ariana Grande song when she's like, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it. Because I feel like you guys are very powerful manifestors, people perceive you to be very, very abundant. Really interesting. See what else I'm seeing. Yeah, I just feel like you guys are really big dreamers as well. You have this really powerful ability to dream. Your spirit guides are saying dreaming the world into being. People may perceive this about you as well. I feel like people also, it's like they see you speaking of something and then getting it, and then they think, wow, pile number 4 has a lot of money. I feel like people also perceive you as knowing how to handle your money. I feel like you guys could be really good with money, or people perceive you to be this way as well. We're going to go ahead and look at your charms, and then we'll look at your letters. So your letters could be people who are thinking of you. It could also just be words that people perceive you as. Let's go ahead and look at your charms. I also am feeling kind of Aries energy with you as well. Whenever I was shuffling the charms, I was hearing bull in a china shop. I feel like you guys could be quite stubborn, or people perceive you as being stubborn. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm just going to scoop these up a little bit. And then I'm going to zoom in. That way we can see. So you guys have Cancer. So you guys could resonate as being a Cancer. And then we have imaginative. Yeah. People really do perceive you as having a really vivid imagination. I feel like people also perceive you as having really vivid dreams. It's interesting that we have the bird carrying the message, which is also which also speaks of being a messenger or a networker. People perceive you as somebody who really is in the know, who knows what's going on. And with it being next to the microphone, it's like you are the person to deliver news. People perceive you as being the person who delivers the news. And I feel like people also perceive you as somebody who keeps everybody in touch. In touch with each other, in touch with what's going on. It's interesting that we got the spoon twice. The spoon twice, and then we have the bull again, which is like Taurus, the energy of Taurus. And bulls also can tend to be quite stubborn. And it coming next to the wasp, I feel like sometimes the stubborn it's interesting with the Cancer too, because I feel like you may express this energy and people may view you as stubborn, where it's like when you don't get something that you want, it's something that's coming through and it may cause you pain. Really interesting. And with the mask here next to the glasses, I feel like people perceive you as somebody who maybe doesn't share a lot, or who knows, it's like somebody who knows so much that it's like almost like Google is something that's coming through. It's like somebody could ask you something and be like, wow, I didn't even know pile number 4 was interested in that. But I feel like your passion, your interests are a lot. That's why I was picking up this like jack of all trades energy with your pile as well, because it's like you know a lot about a lot. Is something that I'm feeling, or people perceive about you. I also feel like people perceive you as having some sort of like authority when it comes to your friendships, which is interesting. It's almost like leadership type energy among a group. And maybe that's why you know a lot of things, or why people confide in you, because you have this almost like aura of authority around you. Or people perceive this, and so they share things with you. Really interesting. I do feel with the worm being here, I feel like people perceive you as being a bit of a bookworm. Somebody who's almost always has their nose in a book. It's almost like you're with the spoon coming next to the worm. It's like it's never enough is something that I'm feeling. Like you could never know enough. That's why I feel like you're very passionate about learning and you love learning, or you love discovering new things. It's like, it almost feels like a insatiable hunger is something that I'm feeling, like you could never know enough. And also with the spoon being over here twice, it's like, I feel like you could never know enough, but you could also never have enough is something that I'm feeling, or people perceive about you. That you're always wanting to know more, learn more, get more, achieve more. Really interesting. Let's go. I want to go ahead and look at your letters, see what letters come through. Just have fun with the letters as well. Pile number 4. Okay, so we have K, R, R, O, B, so Rob is something that's coming through, V, Y, W, A, L, O, N, V, D, and S. Interesting. So we have Rob, Boar, the A, which also makes me feel like this very stubborn energy. I feel like people do perceive you as being quite stubborn. We have B-O-D-Y, body. People could perceive you as having a nice body, is something that I'm seeing. Yeah, just have fun with the letters. Feel free to pause it and try and like see if you see any other letters. Let us know in the comments. But I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 4. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of our Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you later. Bye.